Alrighty. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a book by George Clason. It's one of my favorites actually when it comes to how to handle your money and how to think about it. It takes a lot of really basic lessons and simplifies it down into a way that makes you think if this guy, this many years ago, so long ago, could employ these principles and create generational wealth for himself and his family, then why won't it work now? So I really like this book. It's this one here, Richest Man in Babylon. It's pretty good. It's a short read. It's only about 9,500 pages or so, about 100 pages. It's pretty easy. It has a lot of really good kind of points to it. Some of the main ones that once you read it and once you think about it, you're like, well, duh, that makes sense. But if you're not consistently thinking about it, then it kind of slips your mind. Is that when you first start trying to save and increase your money, trying to get on track of things, create a budget, it's best to start with the basics. Go through, figure out what your income is, what your expenses are. Figure out where you can cut expenses. That's one of the keys in here. And it's not necessarily to work harder, longer hours, work more. It's about working smarter and not increasing the one revenue stream that you have, which is for most people their jobs. It's about adding multiple revenue streams within your comfort zone, within your skill set. So with that, definitely you don't want to spend extra, but I also kind of scoff at the people who are like, make coffee at home, don't buy coffee out. A couple of bucks a week isn't gonna make or break somebody. If you're broke, you're broke. Whether it's 0 or 50 or $100 or $1,000, if it's your last bit of money, you're broke. So those kind of little things don't really matter once you kind of get the hang of it and you learn kind of the game of money, how to get out of that. Typically, I can't remember what study it was, but there was a study done in the late 2000s, maybe early 2000 teens, that showed that over about $75,000-$75,000, once you hit that $75,000-$75,000 mark per year, the additional income doesn't particularly add to your quality of life. Of course, money isn't everything, but everything requires money. But typically about the $65,000-$75,000 mark, people don't report being any happier or less happier. So if you're feeling super stressed that you're not in the six-figure range, if you're doing pretty decent and you're happy and you're living your life, that's not too bad. Invest, a big one in this book, in The Richest Man in Babylon, is to invest with the people who know what they're doing. If somebody comes to you and says, hey man, I need 20 grand for, hypothetical, or even $200 for this project, and you know that person doesn't particularly have a background in that area, I would be kind of hesitant to do it. But if somebody came to you and said, hey man, are you willing to invest $1,000 into my auto shop? And you know this kid has been working on cars since he could crawl, that's probably a decent investment. He probably knows what he's doing. And as long as his team is good, he's got a good board, and people around him that he trusts that is going to help him succeed, it's not bad. With that also kind of comes the get rich quick schemes. Usually if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Read the fine print for sure. Owning your own things and not renting is a plus. It will save you money in the long run, but with renting, there's also different write-offs and things that you can do with that. So there's a trade-off with that one, that I'll more than likely get into probably next week. Planning for the future, future generational wealth. That's where you definitely can't just rely on your one income, your job, because you could get sick. You could die. Your family could have to do without you. You could get fired. The business could close down, and that one stream is gone. So to plan for future generations, you have to have multiple streams. If you don't create them within your own niche, then investing is probably the way to do it. Let other people who know what they're doing, who have a proven track record, handle your money. That would probably be the best. And then another thing is to, once you kind of get your budget in place and you learn where your expenses are, where you can add additional income, where you can work a little bit harder, one thing is to increase your skills, learn something new, become more valuable. If you're a salesman somewhere, come in an hour early, make a few extra phone calls, and reach out to some people. Run your own ads, get some people into the business, show the leadership what you're doing, show them that you're valuable and you can add to what they want to do and make yourself wealthy in the long run. With my kind of budgeting plan, I typically save about a tenth of what I make every month. I put that into savings, and that's gone. 2/10 of what I make, I put away to what I call my tax fund. I know it's always going to be more than what I owe in taxes, but I never want to be screwed over, so I always make sure I keep a little extra on the side for that in case something comes up that I either just slipped my mind or I didn't know about. So I do that. 2/10 I invest. I put right into my investment portfolios right now. I've got a couple stocks and a few side companies that I invested in. And then the rest is what I live on. I pay my bills, food, entertainment, and if I want to, books, all of my basic stuff. I try to do as much as I can out of that last half. And I'm only living on about half of what I make, and it's actually less than that because I put a lot more into savings than I need to. So, but this book is a really great read if you want something that's pretty. You can see it's a pretty short read. It's really good. It has a lot of really good, simple concepts that are super easy to understand.